Everybody wants money. Money makes the world go round, but the love of money can be problematic. However, billionaires don't seem to have a problem in loving money and abusing it, using it, wasting it, whatever it is. But you ever wonder what they do in their downtime? I mean, I normally don't worry about what a billionaire does because, for the most part, it doesn't affect me. Unless, of course, I know that their billions are being used in governmental issues. Then it does affect me. But do you ever wonder in the back of your mind, what do these people do with all that money? Like what does somebody with $1 billion do when they go home? What exactly takes, already yet, what do they do when you don't see them in the public light? This video might be the one that'll answer that question for you, probably for me too. It's supposedly about what do the secret billionaire parties look like and what they don't want you to know. So this one could be a very, very interesting.
Billionaires, they're not just like us. Something happens when you reach a certain level of wealth. The jets become private, the apartments become penthouses, and the parties get real epic real fast.
Yeah, they do. They get a little bit out of hand too.
Here are the secret parties billionaires don't want you to know about. In the hanky-panky filled parties of Silicon Valley, dinner comes first, usually prepared by the host to avoid the prying eyes of cooks and cleaners. Social media is strictly forbidden for obvious reasons. Then the drugs come out. MDMA seems to be the top choice, although it's far from the only offering.
It tells me I don't want to be a part of it. That's for sure. But again, what do you do with your money when all you got is money? You blow it on stuff that makes you feel good about the stuff that makes you feel bad. Let's be honest. I mean, you can have enough money to never have a bill past due. You can have enough money to not worry about your housing. You can not worry about your transportation. And then you can have money to not worry about money. And then you get to the point where you're just not even caring about life really. And you start to get to the point where you want to do something extravagant every time to try and get a rise out of life. And what better way to get a rise out of life without doing a whole lot than drugs?
The guests break off into groups of 2, 3, or more, usually for cuddle puddles, a cute way to describe a gang of groping millionaires and billionaires.
Ew. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I think I just like something, the little bit of food came up there. The amount of money in the world gonna make me just go cuddle with people for no reason. Nah, man. This is what y'all do. Count me out. No, I won't even let nobody know I'm a billionaire. I might get there and my whole net worth be put in something else. I might be only worth $100,000. That's all you're going to. I don't even want to be invited to that. That's creepy.
From there, things get really freaky. The mostly male bigwigs of Silicon Valley have these drug-fueled love parties on the regular, bringing in a bevy of young women from anywhere they can get their hands on them. And get their hands on them they do, often with their wives and girlfriends right beside them.
Can I ask a question of y'all? I mean, I want your opinion about this. Why is it, do you think, that money always brings out the sexual deviant side of humans? Why do you think that? Why do we feel like every time money comes into the picture and we hear about it, the real linchpin to all their activities circles around debauchery? I'm confused by it. I've like for a long time I've been confused by it. But to hear that's what they did, I don't know, man. That doesn't seem. Anyway.
These men tend to be the wealthy tycoons behind some of the biggest brands in the world. As Emily Chang, author of the book Brotopia, describes it, they like to treat these parties as extensions of their world-changing professional philosophies by overturning traditions in their private lives. In the end, that means a boatload of hookups in private mansions, estates, and yachts the world over.
I get that. I'm still wondering the why. Maybe it's for the euphoric feeling it gives you. Maybe it's because you get to exert your power over other people, and it reminds you that money is your king. I'm a kind of person. I'm not a party person. I never was a party person. I never was the kind of guy that would be like, man, when I'm single, I'm going to be going to the clubs. I never was that. It was boring to me. It was pointless to me. It felt like all you went there to do was to get deaf. Like that didn't feel sane. So I don't know if I had billions of dollars that I would be doing that anyway to feel like life was worth something. If I get enough money to funnel all my bills away so I never have to see them again, I'll take it. I ain't gonna lie. I'll take $1 billion. Anybody out there feel generous. Want a hand too strong, a couple million. We will make sure that that money goes to good use, namely family. So please, if you feel like you want to see what Too Strong would do if we were rich, I ain't gonna dog you to try. I mean, send us a couple $1 billion. We'll film it. We will document what we do with our money so you can see that it doesn't ultimately corrupt. But you won't know till you send us the money, right? Just putting a bug in your ear. It's worth a shot. One of y'all might be out there thinking, I could send them some cash. I'm not gonna refuse it. I'm just letting you know now.
You won't find a lot of Carvel ice cream cake at a billionaire's birthday party. Even Jay-Z and Beyonce dropped $200,000 on their daughter Blue Ivy's first birthday. Businessman Ronald Perlman likes to celebrate his on a 188-foot yacht in the warm waters of St. Bart's, often flying in famous folks like Barry Manilow to sing him happy birthday.
Is it a Jay-Z thing? Even if I had that money, my kid ain't getting that much money for no. It's not teaching her, at least for me. I'm gonna say for me, please understand. I don't want my children to be in this extravagant lifestyle just because they can be. I'm gonna give them what they need, yeah. Probably spoil them a little bit. But that amount of it's not, I can't say that they're not worth it. That's not the point. It's wasteful. And all it seems to me that I'm teaching that child is how to be wasteful. But don't get it twisted. I will be buying my kids some good clothes if I do get that kind of money. And I might get them each a starter car, not like a $100,000 car, but like a $6,000 to $7,000 car, or even a $5,000 car. One that runs and can get them to and from college, and not in my house. I might do that, but call me a simpleton. I don't know.
Retail tycoon Philip Green once surprised 100 of his friends with a last-minute trip to the Maldives for his 55th. And that's nothing compared to Joe Low, the Malaysian billionaire who turned his 31st birthday into the biggest bash Las Vegas had ever seen, even though no one was quite sure who he was.
Well, that's a good way to get people to know who you are, though. He don't look like the kind of person that throws those kinds of parties often, but it's always the ones that look like that are unassuming. I think people like that look like the ones that they are probably the ones that will go absolutely crazy in a party. Like, you wonder, where did that side of you come from? And then the next day, put my tie back up and straighten my shirt, dust off. Look at me, and I'm just talking to you normal. I'm just this kind of guy. But the night before, you were out there just tie twisted, your shirt kind of half open, and you drunk off your behind.
Low built what looked like an aircraft hangar on a vacant plot of land and then filled it up with some of the world's biggest stars. Leonardo DiCaprio, Kanye West, and Kim Kardashian were there, along with a Ferris wheel, carousel, circus trampoline, and cigar lounge. Jamie Foxx hosted with performances by Britney Spears, Q-Tip, and Chris Brown.
Dang, homie, you went all out. You went all out.
Into the night, a giant fireworks show exploded over the Nevada desert. Henry Nicholas, the founder of the tech company Broadcom, turned a warehouse in California into a never-ending adult fantasy room.
There you go. That's what they do. Always got to have one, at least one, that's what they're going to do.
Personal pleasure pad was reportedly stocked to the brim with cocaine, meth, and ecstasy, along with cutting-edge technology, making it the ultimate spot to hang with his friends and an endless rotation of ladies of the night.
Question. How's that not illegal? I just want to know. How is it not illegal? I thought, this is me. I thought those things were frowned upon by the government. Like the possession of cocaine. I thought that was illegal. Maybe I don't know the law like I thought I did. I thought they were putting people away from meth too. But here you are throwing a party and everybody knows us there, and you still okay. And prostitution. That you had the trifecta going on, and ain't nobody done nothing to you. Okay.
And when that wasn't good enough, Nicholas allegedly hired a construction team to covertly connect the place to his home through underground passageways. This shouldn't come as a shock to the folks who know anything about him. He used to secretly spike his colleagues' drinks with ecstasy, and he once smoked so much marijuana on his private plane that the pilot was forced to put on an oxygen mask.
Again, how is he not in jail? Don't tell me money can't buy you out of look. Monopoly taught us one thing. Monopoly taught us that you can buy yourself out of anything. And if you have enough money and enough leverage, you can bankrupt people just for trying to make a living. That's what Monopoly taught me. This man went straight out of jail free card or something because all the things you've just mentioned, spiking someone, that's a long sentence. Possession, long sentence. I, I'm baffled now.
Unfortunately, at least for
Oh, thank
Nicholas,
God. Whew, okay. I was wondering if they didn't arrest him. Oh, that was crazy.
it all came tumbling down when he was arrested for his Caligula-esque lifestyle, along with a laundry list of securities fraud. He was acquitted of all charges,
Oh,
but
I got too happy too quick. I was thinking, oh look, he got arrested, and I thought maybe for sure we saw some justice, and then you go mention the word he got acquitted. Come on, man.
his rap sheet still isn't a great look for him. The Cannes Film Festival is a lot of things, from a glamorous party to an over-the-top trade convention. Hollywood heavyweights cut deals and schmooze with their favorite movie stars. But for the working girls who fly in, it's a bit of a gold mine. Thousands of women flock to the fest every year, from high-end call girls charging in the thousands to streetwalkers plying their trade for $50. But find the right John and you can hit it big.
I don't understand it, man. Everything revolves around that stuff.
Some of the women have been reportedly known to make $40,000 a night. According to a Lebanese businessman who described the scene to the Hollywood Reporter, there are about 30 or 40 luxury yachts in the bay during the festival each year. Each boat is filled with about 10 women plus drugs and alcohol. And apparently, this has all been going on for the past 60 years.
Allow me to get a little too personal with y'all. I'm going to ask the question, and I know it's not the one that you willingly want to hear or ask, but this is a question for the ladies, because y'all know the woman's psyche. How can any female, and I want you to watch specifically to the dude that looks like Don Music but really old. Another one right here. There's Mr. Old hair, bald spot. You know what I'm talking about. How does it do females make that bridge in their mind to put money at such a high spot in their world that they are willing to do certain things physically with? If y'all can please answer me that question, I'd like to know. I'm just curious. What would it take for the mind to shut off attraction and make money the aphrodisiac for the event?
The 2012 Kappa Beta Phi dinner, a secret gathering of Wall Street royalty, began with the address, "Good evening, exalted high council, former grand swipes in waiting, fellow Wall Street Kappas, and worthless neophytes." The dinner was designed as an ultra-exclusive financial community fraternity at the dawn of the Great Depression. Kevin Roose, author of the book Young Money, described it as a sort of one-percenters friars club. It's a chance for some of the richest men in the world to shut the doors and let loose. It may be the only place you can see literal billionaires perform sexist and homophobic skits and sing lame song parodies about how rich they are.
That's not true. You can see it on TV all the time. They just don't call it that. I'm still baffled at how every time they meet together, the one thing that's always, two things, always present are drugs and sexual excursions. I guess that proves to people this one thing: as high society as they are, they never really leave their more base urges behind. In fact, if anything, it shows me is that money elaborates the base behavior and makes it even worse. So you're not really trying to be a better person. You end up being the worst form of yourself with all that money. Maybe I don't want it. The only way I'm gonna know if I don't want the money is if I get it. I'm just saying, you can still send it my way.
As Roose put it, here were executives who had strong ideas about politics, society, and the work of their colleagues, but who would never have the courage to voice those opinions in a public setting. Roose snuck into the 2012 festivities, and when he was discovered, none other than Wilbur Ross acted as a one-man bouncer and dragged him out.
Imagine getting tossed on your behind by an old dude. Imagine you go in there to report, and one dude finds you out, and it's Gramps over here. And Gramps just walks up to you, grabs you by the collar, and just, yep, chucks you out of there. Well, he probably could do it because of all the the helpful substances that are on, gives him like superhuman strength and stuff, just grabs you and chucks you out. I wouldn't go nowhere again. I'd just stay home. I wouldn't tell nobody I did that. I denied I was never there. Old man's got some dementia stuff going on. I don't know who he threw out, but it wasn't me. I'm not going to say old man. No, I'm good, man.
The black tie dinner isn't for prying eyes.
It sounds like something Occupy Wall Street would invent if they wanted people to hate bankers even more.
Burning Man may be full of trust fund kids and millionaires, but it's always gone out of its way to shun showy signs of its own wealth. Not so for Further Future, the offshoot festival designed for and by the uber wealthy. If you've always wanted to be a burner, but also have access to top-notch lavender lattes, this is the spot for you.
Waste, waste, waste. That's all I'm hearing here is waste, 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 waste.
Its website lists unabashed luxury as one of its primary goals, and its guests won't be disappointed. Beyond the VIP fencing sit Airstreams and lunar palaces going for thousands of dollars per night, often fully staffed with personal valets and private chefs. If that's not good enough, Nobu offers $250 a seat dinners, or you can just take part in something called a smudging aura cleansing. Saline and vitamin transfusions are available.
What? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
And there's a beer and foie gras torsion tasting. Dressed in the steampunk futurism style that's the official aesthetic of the festival, entrepreneurs and tech billionaires mingle, cutting deals between wellness panels. So let the burners eat cake. This is where the powerful come to play.
I'm convinced that rich people at this level have no soul. They can't. They cannot have a soul that they really care about. This level of, I guess the only word I have is debauchery. This level of debauchery is like astounding. Really, I mean, okay, I will admit I've known some things about what they do, but this is over the top. This is way over the top.
As Mel Brooks once said,
"It's good to be the king."
In Saudi Arabia, it's good to be one of the kingdom's 10,000 princes, flush with cash and a lack of concern for their family's oppressive rules. Why else would a deeply religious theocracy look the other way as its royal class hosts decadent parties, breaking every law in the books? One Saudi prince named Faisal is a second-tier cadet prince, which is about as far from the throne as you can get, but he still enjoys all the perks and privileges of princehood.
Again, the princehood and also their religion, they go against it all the time, but because of their positioning, no one cares. You see, normally, because of the religion that they followed, you do any of the things that they do, you'd be stoned. Kind of like when they do drugs over here, you should be in prison. They're doing stuff against the religious sector of the world and they never get in trouble. So it must be that money is God to them. Now it makes sense.
His epic 2009 Halloween party, whose details were revealed in a leaked diplomatic cable, is still the talk of the town. Alcohol was plentiful at the party's bar, despite being prohibited by Saudi law and custom.
See?
There were also plenty of working girls among the guests, which is allegedly not uncommon at such parties. A guest list determined who made it inside the exclusive affair. The scene resembled a nightclub with alcohol, dancing, a DJ at the turntables, and guests in costume. It's a good thing Saudi Arabia just lifted its ban on female drivers so that next time Prince Faisal can invite even more single ladies.
It's so odd that the things that they push the most, especially over there, the religious side of things and how careful you have to be and how proper and all that stuff, it doesn't apply to them. Just like the billionaires and millionaires over here, all the stuff that they require of other people, they don't require themselves.
According to a spokesperson for Bohemian Grove, the mysterious annual retreat of political power players in Northern California, the club is nothing more than a chance to share a passion for the outdoors, music, and theater.
Right. Look, we know more about the Bohemian Grove than oh, that's all it is. You're just going to hang out with your buddies in the woods.
Then again, this is where the early planning for the Manhattan Project took place, so it might not be all fresh air and camp songs. No outsiders really know for certain what this place really is, but
don't give me that. We do know. We have video footage of what it's about. They come and tell you what it's about and hope you don't believe them. It's sacrificial. Everything that they happen there is sacrificial. Come on now.
When former President Bill Clinton was asked about it, he said,
"That's where all those rich Republicans go up and stand naked against redwood trees, right?"
Spy magazine reporter Philip Weiss managed to sneak into Bohemian Grove back in 1989 and then reported on the handful of rules he encountered. Basically, they were don't do business, don't pee on the trees, and always be drunk. Only the last rule was strictly enforced, though. Inside the campgrounds, he found powerful men making powerful decisions over copious amounts of alcohol. In one notable bit of Bohemian Grove history, in the summer of 1968, Ronald Reagan reportedly agreed not to primary Richard Nixon as the two mingled there.
It's not reportedly. Just so people know, it's not reportedly.
The 2018 President Club charity dinner at London's Dorchester Hotel, host Johnny Gold declared, "Welcome to the most un-PC event of the year." That may actually be an understatement. Supposedly a fundraiser for a variety of English charities, the real purpose of this men's-only gathering seems to be a bit more nefarious. British power players from the worlds of finance, politics, and business gather every year to throw their money around, imbibe, and leer at the scantily clad hostesses. In fact, that last part seems to be the main purpose of the party. Hostesses are hired based on their looks and then ordered to wear black underwear to better match the skimpy outfits they're given upon arrival.
You know, if you have the kind of money that they have, just please hear me out. If you have that kind of money, I personally, I don't know why you would be wanting to have all of your assets being flaunted in front of people to say that you can get a girl that way. It seems, this is just me, I'm not approving what they do, but it would seem that you would have an easier time doing this on your own private dollar by yourself but I guess if you are the kind of person that likes to flex what you got, that'd be the best way to do it. I can get any girl I want. And in fact, I can command them to do stuff in the public and they'll do it for money. So I guess I could kind of see why they would do it, because they all have that fetish, it seems.
Once their phones are confiscated, they're given drinks to loosen them up and then paraded out for the men to gawk at. This was reported by Madison Marriage of the Financial Times, who went to the dinner undercover. Hands are slipped up skirts, bottoms are pinched. Drunken men dive in for kisses and ask women if they're actually sex workers.
I think that's only touching the surface of what happens, considering what we've heard about the parties that Diddy's through. I would go on a limb to say that that's probably the first 5 minutes of said party.
The bathrooms are even monitored, and the women are timed to make sure they don't just go and hide. Keep in mind that this is a charity event with prizes including lunch with former London Mayor Boris Johnson and the proceeds going to places like a prominent children's hospital.
Right. Okay, that's where the funds are going. Children's hospital. Don't look over here. The money is for a good cause. That's why we have half-naked women running around and we can grab them, and drunk for kids. It's for the children.
In the wake of the Times report, future iterations have been canceled. When you're a billionaire, you don't take no for an answer, especially not when it comes to your wedding. That's how Napster creator Sean Parker found himself among the redwoods of Big Sur, California back in 2013, celebrating the most lavish wedding this country's ever seen. No expense was spared. Over months, crews built an artificial pond, a bridge, rock staircases, fake stone castle ruins, and a 20-foot tall wrought iron gate with the couple's initials.
Wow. That's love, right? That's just, I'm just expressing my feelings to you. That's wasteful. That's all it is, just wasteful.
The costume designer for the Lord of the Rings movies created Tolkien-themed outfits for all 364 guests, including Sean Lennon, Emma Watson, and California Governor Gavin Newsom.
Uh-oh. The rich will mingle with the rich to get certain things passed, wouldn't it? What you doing at that party, Gavin?
Bunnies were handed out to cuddle with. Animal furs were draped on chairs and full beds. Pigs were roasted on a spit. And
that's cold, man. You give me a bunny to pet, and then you just feed me dead things and have me lie down on some fur that you just skinned. That's wow.
Sting sang in front of a 9-foot tall wedding cake. It was said to cost between $5 million and $10 million. But then the bad press set in and the legal issues started. One website called it an eco-wrecking wedding, and Parker was forced to write an apology. The wedding was hosted at a luxury hotel whose owners had failed to apply for the appropriate permits. But billionaires don't get in real trouble, not for long at least. Parker paid a fine and agreed to design an app for California as restitution.
That's
Check
insane.
out
that is insane.
one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even
That is crazy to me that every time you hear about one getting into some issues, they just get off by paying some funds or fines and that's it. Why not just, okay, you say these things are illegal. That's what you said, no permit. I get most of the time you don't have a permit, you pay a fine. That's understandable. But you just mentioned a guy that was doing all sorts of illegal activity, including spiking people's drinks, and he just got everything just tossed out. Sometimes it pays to be rich, I guess. And if this is what they don't want me to know, I'm glad I didn't know it. It's not adding anything to my life to know it. In fact, it's making me understand that if I ever become that kind of rich, it tells me exactly what I won't be doing. Not that I even had the inclination to want to. I just don't understand why that's the first thing that comes into their minds to do, is to destroy their bodies, their brains, and to indulge in every aspect of the most base human instinct that they could. But if you still want to help and see if we would actually do what you think we would do with money, test us. I mean, we ain't got a problem with taking your funds. We'll prove you wrong. That's what we'll do. We'll show you we're not an abuser of money. We'll do it right. But you have to know, right? So might as well run your theory. Run it with us. We won't be fighting you on that one. Well, whatever your thoughts are, please leave them in the comment section below, because do you want to be rich? There was a song, I want to be rich. Do you want to be rich to the point where you do this kind of stuff? I'd like to know. Please let me know in the comments below.
Training athletes, build leaders, changing communities. At Mentors for Life, sponsored by the Bully Me Bad Project, we provide free professional sports training and mentorship to youth with passion, drive, and the desire to grow. We connect them with top-tier coaching and leadership tools that unlock their full potential. Our athletes train with elite professionals like Coach Cedric Booty of CM3, who's worked with NBA players such as Jaden Ivey and Blake Wesley, and the dynamic team of Tevin Lake and Bobo from T2 Sports Performance. Together, they've trained standout athletes including Notre Dame football stars, NFL offensive lineman Danny Piner, and Kyron Williams. In a school or neighborhood of 1,000 youth, 5 redirected lives can mean 5 future leaders, 5 families spared heartbreak, and 5 powerful stories of hope. And this is backed by research from the Money Smart Athlete Foundation, which shows that athletes have a powerful influence on youth behavior, confidence, and long-term success. We don't just build athletes, we build mentors. High school students who complete our program will become certified Mentors for Life members and will be paid to speak, lead, and coach the next generation. To support Mentors for Life, all you have to do is click here if you're on a mobile device, or click here if you're on a computer to donate or learn more. Or you can reach us directly at mentorsforlife574@gmail.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mentors for Life. Donate today and help save our youth.